Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
Before I tell you what I experienced, I wanted to say that before I had this experience, I wasn't a believer in the paranormal or the supernatural. I wasn't even a believer in urban legends, stuff like Wendigos, skinwalkers, or Bigfoot, etc. I was more of a logical guy. If anything strange and abnormal happened, I always would look at it through a logical way. Well, that wasn't until I had my own experience with something that haunts me to this day. This happened 3 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. I was taking a trip to the Appalachian Mountains. I heard that it was a really beautiful place, not to mention a great place to camp at. I took the trip there without knowing its history and the urban legends that surround it. I lived about 5 hours away from Appalachian Mountains, so I figured that I'd just get my RV and take it with me, and also take my tent equipment as well. I took my RV with me just in case if it decides to rain, I'll be able to go inside and take shelter. Once I got to the Appalachian Mountains, I parked my RV and I got out the stuff that I needed, and I walked a couple of miles until I found the perfect camping spot. After I got everything set up at the campsite, I decided to go for a little hike. I decided to only do a mile, and then I was going to come back and make dinner. As I was walking, enjoying nature, there was something that seemed off to me, and it was very noticeable. I noticed that the forest of Appalachia was very quiet. Too quiet. There wasn't any sounds of birds or squirrels or any of the wildlife that makes their usual noise. It was just silence. And that really chilled me. I've always been an outdoorsman, and I love nature. And all the parks and the trail hikes and everything that's dealing with nature I went at, you will always hear some sort of wildlife sounds. But I didn't hear anything. It was just so still, like the atmosphere just stopped. It felt really uncomfortable, but I kept on walking. That is, until something broke the silence. It sounded like tree branches snapping, and someone was running. I looked all around, but I didn't see anyone, but I kept hearing someone running towards me. I looked around again, and I could make out a figure running. At first I thought it was a human being, but then my heart began to beat rapidly fast as I had a hard time catching my breath. I was startled because what I saw was no way a human being. This being that was running was at least about 10 feet tall. It had abnormally long arms that stretched past its knees. And then the creature saw me, and then it ran towards me. And as it ran towards me, I was able to make out the features. The face looked like a mix between a human and an animal, like a gorilla or a human being. But the fur, it looked unkempt. Eventually, the creature ran off in the distance of the wood and disappeared. But this spooked the fuck out of me. I never ever seen anything like this in my life. I didn't want to stay here anymore. I packed my shit and I got in my RV and I drove off. I wasn't going to spend a night at this place at Appalachian Mountains. Later I would read up about all the things that happened there, including how there's other unexplained creatures that roam the place. I'm extremely glad that I left, because I didn't want to stay there overnight and give whatever the fuck that was the chance to try to come at me.